started probably where you are. So there's no reason why somebody in this group couldn't become a professional footballer. Even girls now, can't they? We've got professional girls now, so you might want to fly across, and you might want to play for Sunderland, for the ladies team. You could have went and seen the ladies team last night, they were playing last night. Did you know that? Anyway, so the idea this morning, the way I usually do coaching is I do them in games. So I don't do like isolated like passing drills or anything like that. I try to do things in games. The reason being is, I think if you do games, it's the closest thing to a game what you do on a Saturday or Sunday. So when you're working, I'm going to try and work things that might look like games itself. There might be some challenges or some type of problems to solve in the games. Yeah, so that would be the idea. So you play game-like stuff, but I'll work on specific things around challenges and stuff like that. If you don't understand what I'm trying to explain or anything like that, just come and ask us. Don't bite, I'm here to help. Okay? And the idea is that you have loads of fun. Yeah? Okay? What I'm going to try and do this morning, I'm going to try and keep this all together working. So I'm really looking at the older ones to be a little bit sensible this morning. Yeah? Because if I can, I don't really want to try and separate you, I want to try and just play football. So hopefully, you will help them, and you can help them as well. Have you got that? So we're all one big happy family. Everyone okay with that? Yeah. Well done. Off you go play. Well done. Good, 4 feet as well. Well cleared. Keeper. Goalkeepers. Yeah. This game's called Passers v Shooters. Passers v Shooters. So the greens. Greens. Got that? Yeah. Greens, you're going to be the passers. Yeah. Your job is to keep the ball, to retain the ball as long as you can. Have you got that? Yeah. Yeah? Good. So you might have the ball there, pass it around, bumpity, 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 boo. You can use all the pitch. Have you got that? If you want to use the goalkeepers, great, they'll play for the greens. Have you got that? Yeah? The other ones, the reds. You're the shooters. As soon as you get the ball, you can score in this goal or that goal. Have you got that? Yeah? So, greens, you're going to keep it. I'm going to bring a scoring system into you later on. Yeah. So at the minute, I'm not going to give you the pressure of trying to get goals. I want you to get used to just moving the ball around all the pitch. Have you got that? Yeah. So we're looking at your team shape. We're looking at your decision making. We're looking at finding good space. So all these things, I'm looking at the green team. The reds, I'm looking at you as like wolves, a pack of wolves. I want you hunting for the ball. Yeah. But I want you to work on that and smart way with that. Yeah. So the red team, I'm going to let you go across there and have a bit discussion in a minute. Green team, I'm going to let you have a bit discussion across there. But this game's called Passers v Shooters. Don't worry if you're the green team, because what will happen is I'll change things around. Yeah. So then what will happen is the reds will change the bib with some of the greens, and then they become the shooters. Have you got that? Yeah. So the idea is reds, work your socks off. You can score in that goal or got that goal. If the reds get the ball, what do you think the green team's job is then?
Get back.
To stop them from scoring. Yeah? So it's just like a game of football. Well, all I'm thinking is, one team, your challenge is to keep the ball as much as you can. So keeping it till the time like you're winning a game. The red team, you're doing what you would do in a game. When you haven't got the ball, you'd work as hard as you can to get the ball back, and then you would counter-attack. Have you got that?
Yeah.
Understand? Comprende? Comprende? Good, good, good. So, goalkeeper's back in the goal. So the goalkeeper was for the green team. Good, red, you score on your goal. Red, you score. Good use of space, well done. Good, well done. That's 30 seconds gone. 30 seconds gone. Good, that's it, good. Calm down now. Good, good. Can you keep it? Can you help? Yeah. Good. Yes. Kyle's got the ball. How can the Greens help them? Because we've stopped, it gives you time to think, doesn't it? So straight away we stop, now you're thinking, well actually where we are ain't great. But that's where you have to be when you're a footballer. You've got to be able to do it while you're playing. Not while you stop and do it, yeah? He's probably in an okay position. The rest of the Green team are probably too near the ball, yeah? So if you're keeping the ball, Green team, what's your role then? What's your main job?
Just get space and pass.
Brilliant. Find good space. Pick somebody out who's found good space on the Green team. Probably okay. Yeah? Okay. So what does a good space look like? Bye bye. Go on then. Good. That's a good space. You alright? Yeah, 'cause I might play a little 1-2 and ping that. Yeah? What's a good space look like? Brilliant. Good space. That's it, we're getting there now. Good. So if you go that way, that's it, good. It's like a domino effect, isn't it? That domino's coming that way, they're going to knock you that way. Go on. Up there. Brilliant. Because what can I do now then? Now that Kyle's got that sorted now, I can play there, I can play there, I might play around the corner, I might play there, I might play there, and if I have to, I might have to go backwards. So as a Green team, you've got to do that to the pitch. You've got to make it big, yeah? Reds, you do the opposite, don't you? You've got to make sure that the pitch is small. So you might have to go around the ball a little bit more. So it's really important, if you want to retain the ball as a team, you've got to use the space that you're being given. Don't make it any smaller. Exploit the space you're being given. Yeah, go, guy. Good. Good. So use the space. Good. That's it. Use the space. Good.
Come here, some hands attack.
Keep it big. Keep it big. Keep it big. Good. Keep it big. Good. Find a good space. Find a good space, Greens. What does it look like? What does a good space look like? Oh, well done. Good. And that's what you're looking for. When you're coaching, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Keep going. Well, actually, the space is there.
Yeah.
That's what the game really concentrates on. Both teams really.
Yeah.
It's exploiting good space. That's it, keep it moving, good. Where's a good space? Can you find one? Can you find a good space? Good, well done, you can play from the back now. Well played. What's a good space look like, Greens? What do you think about it? Pardon? Sloppy? The game was sloppy. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Bad.
Is it? What might you be doing if it was sloppy? If it's sloppy, what's happening? What was that, sorry? Good, so if it's sloppy, you're not finding space, so what you have to do to make it not being sloppy, you're going to have to work harder. So if things are not, I've got this thing where if it's messy, it's good. If that looks great all the time, then I don't think you're learning at all. If that looks pretty, then you're not learning. If it looks messy and it looks sloppy, then you're learning something. You have to be learning something, because if I give a poor ball away, then next time I should be thinking what? I've got to think about maybe what I'm doing when we pass. I've got to be thinking, well, actually I'm going to have to take care of that, because that's 2 or 3 times I've given the ball away, and that's just me being sloppy. Yeah. So sloppy's good in my eyes. Sometimes sloppy's good, because it means you should be learning. The coach should be maybe supporting you, but you should be learning from that. The best players are the ones who don't give it away. You watched the game yesterday, didn't you? Right, what was the difference?
Arsenal kept the ball.
Arsenal are very good at keeping the ball. What else are they very good at? Good. Did you watch Match of the Day last night? Right. Did you hear, who was it? Somebody was talking about Sanchez. About his movement. Yeah? They couldn't handle his movement. So that's what you've just been working on there. And the only thing he does, he goes and finds good spaces. He finds spaces where he's going to be able to get the ball and hurt people. Yeah? So, and that's a big part, and I don't think a lot of people think about that, even as players. That's one of the most important things. I was talking to somebody the other week, and they were saying 98% of the time when you're playing football on a Saturday or Sunday, you haven't got the ball. You'll have the ball for, I don't know, I think they said something stupid like maybe 3 or 4 minutes a game. You're actually on the ball 3 or 4 minutes in a game. So what are you doing after? What are you doing for the rest of the time? You're either trying to find space, or you try and deny people space, because your team mightn't have the ball, so you're going to have to stop them from exploiting that space. So football, in that, when they talk about in that sense, what you do on the ball is important, but what you do off it is really important, because if you're not in the right position at the right time, then that 3 minutes in a game, if you don't find good spaces, it ends up being 30 seconds in a game, or a minute in a game. And what would you rather have? Would you rather have 4 minutes on the ball, or 30 seconds on the ball? So you've got to work on that. We're going to work on something now, another little game. I'm going to give you time to go and get a drink, and then I'm going to play another little game, which is more what. Well, I'm going to ask you what it's about. Right? I'm going to show you the game, and then you can tell me where you might see this on the game of football. All right? Get yourselves a drink. If you need one indoors, go and get one, and then I'll set the rest. So this game's called Release the Prisoner. You might have played it before, you might not have. If you look behind you, I've set one pitch up really, and I'm going to give some people responsibility and they can set the other pitch up across there. Plus I'm lazy, so don't know what. So what's going to happen? Got 2 X's, 2 O's, so greens and reds. Right. In the middle we'll have might have that. Yeah. We'll have one ball to start off with. The idea is, like the game is, these people here are in prison. So your teammates are in prison here. To get them out of prison, you've got to give them the key. The key is good. Ball goes in, you come out. You go in, you come out. You got that? Yeah. What you can't do, you can't come out, turn around and directly give them the ball back. Yeah, you've got to give the ball back to somebody in your team before you can go back to the same gate or the same prison. You got that? Yeah. So take them lines out. Where might that happen on a football pitch? So this game, if that was just a normal game of football, who might these be?
Fullback.
Fullback's good. 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 So if I wanted to, look at that way. Do it like okay, Mike. That could be. Where might them be now then? Good. That would be the. See that? Yeah. And we're going to do the same on the other side of the pitch. So this is going to be specifically a game. So you might want to be playing out from the back. You might be looking to do what else? What else might that game concentrate on? So it might play out from the back. So you might get the ball to full back and he plays at the centre back into the centre mid. What else might that work on? If I'm looking at these players here, If I want to get the ball from that player to that player, what's that called? A what? Ding ding, 10 points. Good. Switch. So it's working on switching the play. Yeah. It's working on playing out and through and combining in tight areas. You got that? Yeah. The other team, you will be doing the same. So that might be 2 strikers, 2 centre mids, winger, full back. Yeah. Or wing back we call them now, isn't there? The key word, wing back. Wing back. So, start the game. So we're going to do that on one side of the pitch, do it on the other side of the pitch. Yeah. Are you ready? Off you go, say look. Bye bye. Don't fall over people. It's the key.
They're getting tired, what could you do on the outside? You maybe shut down them, getting out there, so you've got fresh legs, trying to get the ball back. Have you got that? Yeah, and you clear the ball. There, yeah. Good. Good. Get the ball out. Good. Clear, let's go. Yes,
Two goalkeepers. Each team's going to have a different challenge. Yeah. So there'll be one team. Your job is to keep the ball. Yeah. When you get in the attacking half, the amount of passes you make before you score will give you the amount what that goal counts for. So if I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 passes before scoring, that goal counts as 5 goals. Have we got that? If it's 2, but it has to be past the halfway line. So if my team's going this way, when I get in this half, the amount of passes before we score is the amount what the goal is. Yeah. The other team going this way. So the team going that way, you've got to score a goal within 12 seconds. Yeah. As the clock's going down, so if you get in that half, so when you get the ball, if you get here in 10 seconds and shoot and score, you get 10 points, you get 10 goals for that. Yeah. If you get here and it's 2 seconds and you score, you get 2 goals for that. Have you got that? So we're going to be working on one team, building and then keeping the ball and then scoring. And the other team, you're counter-attacking. You've got 12 seconds to score. But as the clock goes down, so does you put your tally for that goal. So if it's 8 before you score, you get 8 goals for it. Have you got that? Yeah. Good. And then what we'll do is we'll flip in reverse. Yeah. Flip that round, then the other team can have a goal. So, let's have a look. Do you want to change the teams around? Right, good. So I'll leave that to you. I'm just going to go in the corner. Composed, well done. Composed. Wow.
Yeah, Kyle.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh, what a save! That was great play though, good counter attack. More composed, more focused. Fast. Good. Anything else?
Hard work. Definitely done.
Right, so you're going to have to work hard. So because it's fast, you have to work hard. Anything else?
Not much space to move.
Pardon?
Not much space to move.
Not much space to move because it's a bit of a high tempo now, isn't it? Would that happen in a game? So there might be opportunities when somebody's attacked and they've made a bit of build-up play to the keeper, and then because all their team's in this half, then the counter-attack's on. Yeah. What's important about the build-up stuff? The movement's important. What else? Composure on the ball. So you've got to be able to play. It's a bit like dance, really. Sometimes you dance quickly and then you do like the cha-cha. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. You do like a bit of a dance. Sometimes you go quickly, sometimes you go slowly. Slowing things down then stops the other team, but then you've got to raise the speed up again. So it's slowing people down and speeding things up. And that's what you've got to do in football sometimes. You've got to know when to slow it down and when to play quickly. So football's not a simple thing. It's not just about, can I pass the ball from A to B? Can I do tricks and skills? It's all not just technique stuff. It's the other stuff you need to really think about, your decision making, when and where, how and why. All these things you need to be thinking about when you're playing. And the better players do a lot of that more of the time correctly. So me finding a teammate, better players will always find a teammate and make better decisions. The better players, that's why you have a Premiership, that's why you have a Championship, that's why you have a First Division, Second Division, that's why you have non-league football, so semi-professionals. All them people are at different levels, and it'll be because they probably had the opportunity of playing at different levels, but because when they make good decisions, the better decisions they make, the better higher they play. Yeah? So if you've got aspirations of being a professional footballer, it ain't just about passing the ball all the time, it's about your decision making. You've probably seen that yesterday. The difference between the two teams was Arsenal, yeah, they were technically better, but the decision making and everything they did was a lot quicker, a lot cleverer, yeah, and they made less mistakes. That's why they scored 4 and we only scored 1. They make less mistakes, so there's things to think about when you play. And some of you might never get there, but it's reaching for that, isn't it? It's reaching for them things. You might never become a professional footballer, but you always want to be the best you can be, that's for sure. Yeah, decision making is important. Get yourselves a quick drink and then we'll move on to the next game. Right, next game we're going to play. You can have 1 touch, or you've got to have more than 4 touches. So we're going to play a game of football. So you can have 1 touch, or you've got to have more than 4. If you have 2 or 3, it's a free kick to the team. Have you got that?
Yeah.
Yeah? What might that work on, do you think?
Awesome.
It might be, go on then. So there's going to be times when you have to move the ball quicker. What else?
Times when you have to hold on to it.
Brilliant, and that's what it's all there for. So 1 touch, you're going to have to look at the ball when it comes to you and say, well actually, I can pop it off straight away.
or actually I cannot because I haven't got any support, so I'm going to have to look after it and protect it. Have you got that? Everybody happy with that? Happy with the teams? Are you happy with what you've got?
Are you on more than 4 pitches?
Pardon?
Are you on more than 4 pitches?
So you can have 1 or more than 4, but you can have 2 and 3. And then I'll find out who's the people who are smart, who can play quick, and the people who make good decisions, and the people who can stay on the ball. Who can stay on the ball, because there's times you have to, there's going to be times when you have to play quickly. You got that? Brilliant, excellent. Off you go. Well done.
Yes. Go. Don't have more than. Come on.
Go, deal with it. Good.
Yes, switch.
Good, well done.
Yeah.
See the cogs are moving?
Yeah, it's nice.
Cogs are moving. See the cogs moving when you get the ball. Good, go deal with that. Good. Oh, Reece likes this game. Reece likes this game. He gets loads of touches. Yes. Good, well done. How are we going to deal with that then, Reg? How are we going to stop that from happening? You might. We haven't got a keeper. So what might you have to do to stop that from happening? Come on then, let's go then. You know the answers, can you show them? Free kick. Free kick.
I don't get that.
Offside now as well. Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Right. What did you enjoy about it? What was the key things you enjoyed? Because everybody's had different things what they've enjoyed. Match scenarios, good. What do you like about that? What was good about the match scenario? You know, when I was planning this last night, I was in the house last night because I'm a bit freaky like that. I was in the house like to say, right, what should I think about doing? I want swimming, and that was one of my objectives. You know what my objective is? You know, when you're at school and you've got these objectives, that was my objectives. Can I get swimming, which has got like something really connected to the game? That's me going a happy man now. When I have my Sunday lunch this afternoon, and I'm having my Yorkshire puds, I'm going to be a happy man because that's something what I aim for.
Yes.
What else did you like about the day?
Different drills.
Different drills. Go on, can you expand on that? What do you mean by the different drills?
Not focusing on my first belief. Taking all different aspects of the game.
Brilliant. So that's really important, that, because you're all different ages, you're all different people. If I just say, right, we're going to do passing today, then I know Reece doesn't like passing. I've only watched Reece this morning and he looks a bit of a dribbler. Is that right, Reece? He's happy when he's running with the ball. But if I just did passing this morning,
that would have been him out of the game. Reece probably wouldn't have enjoyed this morning if we just said, right, we're going to do back the game. Because that's not meeting his needs. Other people like defending. Other people like playing in midfield. Other people like playing in goal. Yeah. So that's really important what's happening there. So if I tick them boxes, that's another big happy Yorkshire pudding I'm going to have this afternoon. There's 2 Yorkshire puddings I'm having. Anything else you enjoyed? Anything else? I met him. He's not alive, unfortunately now. He died this year. But he introduced me into that game. One of the best games I've ever seen. Great for combination play, switching. Really good game that. So good stuff. If you go back home, what game would you like to play more of? Out of them games I've done there, which games would you say, well actually I'd like to do that back home with you lads? Because there'll be some. The last one, so the 1 touch, 4 touch. Who was getting frustrated in that game? Put your hands up if you got frustrated with that game. That's good, that. That's good, because that's a good thing. Because football's like that, isn't it? Football doesn't always go your way. So there's going to be times in the game where you get frustrated. But that really focuses on when and where. When do I need to play quickly? When do I need to have more touches with the ball? When do I, because there's sometimes when you get the ball passed into you, you're under pressure, you have to deal with that. So you can't just always play on 1 touch, sometimes you've got to deal with that ball. And the more you get in them scenarios, the better you become. But well done this morning. I'm really glad it's been a nice sunny day in Sunderland for that. This is about as sunny as it gets. A bit like back home really, isn't it? Back home's a bit like that, isn't it? Back home's a bit like that. It's a bit rainy. So, well done, good stuff. If you can do us a favour, your bibs, if you can put them in my big bag, and all the rest of the stuff up here. If somebody can click them cones in for us, Gingangu.
Guys, just before you go there, Kyle, do you want to say a few words there?
On behalf of me and Brian, thank you for the session.
Anytime. Hopefully I might see you again in the future. I might come across on a plane. You never know. And I might just turn around the corner and you'll see him.
Played here in the city centre of Newcastle since 1880, and then obviously the place has kind of like developed and been built upon since then. As it stands now, built in 3 separate phases. So the stand directly out in front of her at the minute, that is called the East Stand. That was finished as it is now, minus all the seats, in 1972. That's the Gallagher end. The Gallagher end and the lower levels of this Millburn stand and that Leazer's end were finished in 96, which brought the capacity of the place up to about 36,500 seats, which wasn't big enough for the demand for live football here on Tyneside. So the club briefly flirted with the idea of building like a new stadium in Leazer's Park, which is a plot of land kind of basically just behind that stand. The council never passed plans for us to do that. They did, however, eventually pass plans for us to add the top bit where we are now and that massive roof above us, and all of that was added back in the year 2000. Now the roof itself, it's a kind of impressive bit of engineering. It's called a cantilever roof, and when it was first built it was the largest roof of its kind anywhere in the world. Cantilever roof basically just means that the structure is held up on the outside of the stadium. Like there's tons of metalwork up there. It all runs down into the foundations of the building. It is basically like pulling the roof up from the outside, which means there's no restricted views here, is there? There's no pillars having to hold the roof up, potentially blocking any of the fans' views, which I mean happens at a fair few football stadiums in this country. The roof is 68 metres or so from front to back, and it has got 15 miles of glass in it at the minute. Cleaned once a year and takes 3 members of staff about a month or so to complete. You'll see that the stadium is lopsided, isn't it? This Millburn and that Leazer's stand are way bigger than them two out in front of us there. Now the one directly in front of us, the East Stand, that will never be built on. There's a row of houses pretty much directly behind the East Stand called Leazer's Terrace, majority of which is owned by Newcastle Uni, but the entire row of houses is protected by the heritage law in this country. They're grade 2. Yeah, naturally, if you want to go up, you're going to have to go back as well, aren't you? Row of houses prevents them from ever doing so. We could maybe build on the Gallagher end down the bottom there, but one of the difficulties of that end is that the metro station, St James's metro station, is partially underneath it. And again, you know, if you want to build up, you're going to have to build down as well, a few problems with the foundations, etc. I guess it's a bit of a shame, isn't it, that we don't kind of have like the full bowl of the stadium. Although saying that, I think that's a unique view for a sports stadium in this country. I mean, there are so few in this country which are right in the city centre, like we are here at St James's Park, and therefore even fewer have got a view of the city skyline quite like that. Clear day from at the top here, you can see as far as the North Sea out the focus there. Now, because of the total capacity of the place, we've got to give the fans of the visiting team 3,200 seats for league games. Cup games are slightly different, but for league games it's that percentage. And we hide them away up in that top corner there. Now 6 blocks of seats from the glass coming inwards, we're from the glass into the block of seats after the flag. That's maximum allocation for away fans. The flag's just there at the minute because when Preston came last week, they bought that 1,500. Actually, it's only used by the away team. All the Newcastle players live pretty locally. They've got a private car park halfway up that road, even just on there. They will have their cars parked for them on a match day, and then to the stadium through the emergency tunnel. Entrance that a couple of 100 foot up that way or so. Now, I mean, the Newcastle United players are pampered on a match day, man. They are pampered to the extent that at the end of the game, when they're leaving the stadium, there's somebody inside St James's Park controlling the sets of traffic lights kind of over there on Barrack Road, so that the football players don't have to stop at the red lights, which is pretty ridiculous, really is. But a couple of hours or so before the game kicks off, the visiting team coach pulls up the bottom of them stairs. All of their players, all of their officials come down here to get through to their dressing rooms. That's what the place looks like when it's full house at the place. Taken about 10 years ago now, that photograph. And then in here we've got these two kind of busts either side of the room. Now we're in the Milburn stand at the minute. This gentleman over here is Jackie Milburn. He is the person that this stand is named after. Jackie Milburn was a local guy who was from Ashington, just north of the city, and the Milburns, they were related to the Charltons as well. Now, Jackie played for this football club in the 40s and the 50s, representing us 397 times and scoring 200 goals across those games. So he was club record goal scorer up until 2006, when he was overtaken by Alan Shearer. That Shearer celebrated his 201st for Newcastle United on the top there. Now, whilst Jackie was playing for us, we won the FA Cup 3 times, in 1951 against Blackpool, 1952 against Arsenal, and in 1955 against Manchester City. Now, the 3 medals he picked up from those finals are the 3 gold medals down at the bottom of the cabinet there. The silver one he's wearing around his neck. That one was given to him because in 1950 he was part of the England squad who travelled out to Brazil and very briefly participated in the 1950 World Cup. Now, Jackie is then looking opposite side of the room at the bust of Sir Bobby Robson. Did you walk up past the big statue of Bobby down the bottom? I personally think this one's a far nicer likeness of the great man. Now, this one was unveiled on Bobby's 75th birthday. That was the year before he sadly passed away, and the anniversary of that anniversary coincided with the game being held here against Manchester United. Bobby was up in the suite named after him on level 3. Level 3 is like our director's level, and up there's a suite named after Bobby Robson, and he was in there having a bit of food with his guests. When he was eventually convinced to come down here, he was basically kind of met by a guard of honour with the Newcastle United and the Manchester United team lined up on either side of the room here. And through the doors at the end came Kevin Keegan and Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson and Sir Bobby Robson were very good friends. Bust itself unveiled by Mr Ferguson, as I say, commemorating Bobby's 75th, but yeah, of course, as well as his achievements within the game of football. And I mean, it will stand in this place as long as this place is. And through the doors at the end is the tunnel area, so you've got the dressing rooms and that coming off there. So we're going to stick our heads in both. We've got all these different rooms here as well. Every football club in the English football pyramid has to have a doping control room, a drugs testing room. It's just basically a little cupboard with a toilet at the back. We could go kind of like a whole season of football played here without having any player pulled into that room after the end of the match. Alternatively, could happen 2 games in a row. In fact, the drugs testers are at the last 3 games held here at St James's Park. And what will happen is they'll turn up unannounced, they'll be stood top of the tunnel at the end of the match, and they will pull 2 players from each team into that room. Those players have to provide them with a urine sample. Now, I mean, you know, you've been running around for 90 minutes. A lot of the people pulled in there post-match are pretty dehydrated. Now, the longest it's ever taken anyone to provide those FA testers with a sample after the game was 5 hours after the final whistle. Unfortunately for him, he was an away team player. Coach couldn't be bothered to wait for him. He had to get a taxi back down to Merseyside on his own. I don't know if any of you are interested, but that was Phil Jackie out there, if you are. Match officials, referees and that, they're based on that side. There's a female officials room in there, and on the right, Away team on that side, and Newcastle's is just down that corridor and on the left-hand side. It did used to be kind of slightly different. We introduced this current setup down here for the start of the 2006-2007 season. So before that season kicked off, we weren't required to have that drugs testing room. That little cupboard is where we used to stick the referee and the linesman. The away team were over there, and Newcastle United, we actually used what is now the away team dressing room. Now, the last time that room was ever used as the Newcastle dressing room was quite a nice coincidence. It was the 11th of May 2006, and that was Alan Shearer's testimonial match against Glasgow Celtic. As I say, following that, everything down here was like shuffled about in order to make room for the drugs testing room. So that's when we built ourselves the new one and turned the one into which we're going into now into the away team dressing room. There's a lot of us, isn't it? Class, guys, this is our away team dressing room. Now, this room is pretty basic, innit? It's pretty small in here, it's pretty cramped in here, ceiling's low, lights aren't particularly nice in here either. And I'm sure you can imagine, though, it can get pretty hot in this room very quickly as well. Now, we played Manchester City here, first game of 3 seasons ago. For some reason that afternoon, Manchester City decided to bring 53 players and officials with them. Stuck them in this room here. I mean, I'm sure you can imagine with that amount of people in here, I mean, especially if it's a hot day already, especially if the showers up the back are running, you know, it's going to get very hot, very uncomfortable, and that will happen very quickly. Now, us here at Newcastle United couldn't care less. Just for the away team, they're only here on Tyneside for, 4 hours or so. There's basically just no need for us to make life too comfortable for them. Now, that will happen throughout English football. It will happen throughout sport in general, you know, across the world. Facilities for away teams will always tend to be of a lesser standard than facilities for home teams. Now, believe it or not, like, this is one of the nicer ones in English football. I mean, at least this room is bright with all these white tiles on the wall and that. Loads of them are painted dark, dank, dingy colours. I think that it's supposed to feel like the room's like closing in on you if they're painted like that. There are 2 Southamptons and Middlesbroughs that I'm aware of at least, which are both painted like really vile, contrasting, clashing colours. And they do that because I think it will disorientate the opposition before they get out onto the field of play. At least with this one, you know, the manager coach can be stood top of the room here. He's going to be able to make eye contact with all of his players when he's giving his team talk, isn't he? Loads of them are shaped to prevent that from happening. So there are tons shaped like a horseshoe, loads shaped like the letter L. You know, the manager's like ducking and diving, trying to get that eye contact with his players. The one down at Leicester City has a massive pillar, smack bang in the middle of the room. It's completely hollow, serves no purpose whatsoever. They just put that in there to get in the way. Now, things that some clubs do can start to seem pretty ridiculous. Again, back to Southampton's away team dressing room. Back of there are 4 toilet cubicles. On the back of each of those toilet cubicle doors is a big mirror, and then on that mirror, printed a Southampton shirt. So now the away team were in there, sat on the toilet, and they were looking at themselves wearing a Southampton top. Now, this is probably one of the nice ones, because as I mentioned when we were outside, it did used to be Newcastle United. So it's been this shape and this size since '92. Believe it or not, we were actually quite good back then. Kevin Keegan joined us club as his manager for the first time and made it this small because he wanted a close, tight-knit community of players in here, and he thought having a kind of smaller room would benefit that. So he stuck in them 2 walls and blocked up the door just over there, leading through to the treatment room. There was only ever one Newcastle player who ever vandalised this room whilst it was the Newcastle United dressing room. It's not going to come as any surprise to you to learn that was Craig Bellamy. And Craig Bellamy scraped bells up there in between them 2 pegs. And then the seat where you're sat, young man, that used to be the most photographed peg in the stadium, but as you can see there used to be a clock just up there where them 2 red brackets are. But the Rugby World Cup came here, took our clock down, promptly lost our clock. But Alan Shearer was a very superstitious bloke. He would have always sat underneath the clock in this dressing room when it was the Newcastle United one. Can you believe as well that when we hosted that Rugby World Cup, we managed to fit the All Blacks in here? I mean, that's kind of impressive, to be honest. But guys, again, has anyone got any questions in here? Sound? Cool. If you want to grab some photos quickly, please do so. I'll then just be at the door. I'll lock up when we're all outside, down around the corner into the house. Looking to build this room, sent a representative of London, had a bunch of blueprints picked up for them. Stuck them together, came up with this. Players here all have a locker, they all have a safe as well. Now, on a match day, they come to the stadium 2 hours before kick-off. They are having a pre-match meeting with the Benitez down in the players' lounge, just down there. They're in here about 1 hour and 40 before the game starts. An hour beforehand, clock up there starts counting it down. 6 minutes before kick-off, speakers either side of the room there, both of them will sound. That is the referee pressing a button in his room, making them sound. And that is just telling the players they've got a minute to get to the top of the tunnel. If anyone's in here when the buzzer sounds again, that minute later, Newcastle United will receive a fine. All the shirts, all the kit, just in here for the stadium tours that we do. Every game Newcastle play, the players will come in here, and this room will have been set up the day of the match or the day before the match by Ray, our kit man. But it will look canny similar to the bit down here. Every player, however, has somewhere between 3 and 6 pairs of boots to choose from for every game. Your shin pads are up on the benches as well, and for some reason every player gets given a match day programme as well. I don't know, so they can read about themselves before they go and play football. You'll then find towels and that even, stacked in the kind of dockets there, training tops hanging up around the corner. Basically the only people in here whilst the game's in progress are the physios, should there need to be, and the catering staff filling the fridge before the game, before half time and before the full time. Yeah, if you want to again have a minute or so, guys, to take any photos and that, please feel free, and then we'll finish up by having a wander down the tunnel of the pitch side on the video.
Ceiling over here, just wait. Leave. I take it.
Smashing, guys. I guess from down here, you've got a slightly better perspective of like the slope in the pitch. You look over the middle as well. There's a slight camber running over the middle of the pitch, and like the slope, that is there to help with draining the excess rainwater off the field of play. Now the dugout down here, this is a Newcastle United dugout, away team on the opposite side. Two differences between the two: 19 seats for the Newcastle player and staff, and the considered unlucky 13 for the away team. And then every Saturday afternoon, these ones are heated and those ones are not. Benches, these guys are sat in there, fourth official, pitchside security and that. Guys, if you want to take any final photos from down here, again, please feel free, and if anyone's got anything to ask us that you don't think I've covered over the duration of the tour, fire away as well. We're back here watching a match, which is coming out a little bit like a match there that was kind of good. Or if you're watching a game on the telly, you've got a bit of a better understanding what is going on behind the scenes. I'll crack the door for you over there, as I say, cheers for coming, and have a safe trip back this evening.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.